So I'll ask you my question first, and then you can just talk.
Speed. Action.
So tell us a little bit about what it was like for you in the war, and how you got from how you got to this point today where you wanted to study medicine.
Yeah, actually, as as per concerning today that I'm in St. George University, Grenada, and this is one of the medical school that provide health services, provide education for health service to practice. I actually have taken this position in the medical just because of some three reasons. One, it happens that most of the people have been dying of, and several of them have been dying of diseases in my country. That's to say, during my childhood period, I saw one of my brother, actually a colleague, dying of diarrhea. So, and we know diarrhea cannot actually kill if it is managed very well. And that person died in my presence. So I saw that person. So this time I just look at it that assuming that time I would have some skills of diarrhea prevention, then that person would have not died, but just because I did not have any yes, so that's why I cannot actually help that person. That's one. Two, I also saw a child in the hospital. One time I was actually having TB. I was TB patient, but thank God I was helped by also charity people like you today. They managed to treat me and I become fine. I'm now TB free. Yeah. So that child died actually of a respiratory tract infection, and it was actually starting that child just was gasping air and also having difficulty in breathing. The child could not breathe. Just at short time like that, the child died. So that one actually made me think of why would something make me to become a doctor, so that if I see something like that, I would be immediately intervening and I will be able to help. That was my dream. You see? Thank God that in 1992 I was in P3. That was the time actually I saw those happening, and that time I was 11 years old. Then as I continue my education, so I was thinking and put my thought and ambition that I wanted to become a doctor. I was just actually thinking and always tell it in my dream. So when I sat my senior 4, I actually I sat for sciences. That's biology, chemistry, physics, mathematics, English. So I actually passed those subjects, with the exception of one, that was physics. Sincerely speaking, I did not pass physics. Physics was just
People find physics here difficult too.
Yeah. So that was the subject I actually failed, sincerely speaking. But these other subjects I managed. And as I continue, then as I was looking for where to go for school, I could not actually find, because nobody was supporting me, so that I continue my education. I branched after finishing my senior 4. I went to one of the refugees camp in a refuge in northern Uganda, where I became actually a teacher.
What was life like in the refugee camp?
Well, it was really not all that good, as I could remember, one of the time I was in that camp, and while a student, we spend most of the time, actually, you look for your own food, although United Nations High Commission for Refugees, that's UNHCR, could provide food item, but still that's not enough to keep you for at least a month. They put a ratio, and that one will take you a month, you see. So if you said you wanted to have lunch, rather breakfast, lunch, and supper, it want to get you 5 days. So what the trick which I also happened to use, and others who live with me in the camp, was to skip day and lunch, rather morning and lunch is just stop, but you eat in the evening. So most of the time you don't have actually food from morning up to midday. You don't have lunch, so you only depend for supper. So that was one. Two, it was very hard for me to get some health facilities, although there was one site that was actually put for us as for treatment, that was a primary health care units. These are small units that are provided actually. So that one was not enough to treat people, and as well some diseases that are with other people. So it was very hard. So there is no way that you actually manage and you are treated fully. They give few drugs that will actually prevent, but not to eliminate that condition in your body. So you still have that recurring of disease prevailing. So that was two. Number three, it was very hard for me, like shelter. There was no good sheltering. Like we used to live in skate tents. These are not tents that are actually made of plastic, but you just provide small tukul-like. Just get the grass, then poles, and you get reeds. Those reeds you just erect it and it become a shelter-like. So those were what we were actually using during those days.
So it would just give you shade then, it wouldn't cover
You
everything.
cover it, and to become your room. When it is raining, you will not talk about it. So you have to sit like this until the rain is stopped. Then you now lay it in your bed. Is it?
So even though you weren't in primary school in South Sudan, the conditions were still very difficult when you had to go to school.
Yes.
So tell me about what school was like. Was it much like your general life in the camp?
Yes. That one is really compared to what I was narrating and previous. It was not really fair. Like when South Sudan and Sudan were in war, that was SPLA and National Congress, this Sudan government. It was really very hard for me to be in the school. Why? One is that if I happen to go to school, you remember always when there is war, people keep running up and down. So there was no proper education actually to pupils as they continue. Every time you hear, oh, today people are running this side, so everybody has to run to where he or she should save life. So most of the time we were actually running up and down.
So when you
there was
talk
no-
about people running, you mean they were actually, you're trying to get away from
they were trying to escape
Mm.
that
that area?
that area, so that they go to safest part that would enable them to stay. But that one was not enough. You find every time, actually every day, at least if you had gone to that place and stay not more than a month, then you will be running away from that place. So you will keep always displays, and as it did continue. You see, so in that aspect, in 1988, when I was in our homeland, I was actually very small. It was that time, I think, 5 years. Arab came and they were trying to raid our cows, and they were trying even abducting small children. So that time actually I knew that my mother was there, so she happened to run with me into one of the bush area. She went and hid with me. So this Arab came and they were riding on horses, horse. So they were riding on horse. So if they happen that to see a man, they will then sometimes shoot. If at all that is a woman, they will just rush and grab away. If that woman has a child, they will just grab away that child. You see? So,
Especially a male, I guess.
yeah, you see. So that's what happened. In that aspect, I actually, there was one time that my mother ran with me, and she was able